Our next guest turned $12,000 of bar mitzvah money into $2 million and started his own hedge fund, all, of course, during his senior year of college. He's known as the Rebel Millionaire. Please welcome investor Tim Sykes. Tim, thanks so much for joining us here again on Cheddar.
Thanks for having me.
For those that don't fully know the story, really quickly, can you just go through the background of how you made your first million?
Yeah, so I was a tennis player. My parents gave me control of my bar mitzvah money. They thought I would lose it all in the market, and instead I turned it into several $1 million trading low-price stocks, just in and out, no big wins, but just trading the volatility.
And your investment strategy is shorting stocks. So walk us through what shorting is and why people decide to do it.
Yeah, mainly short bias because, I'm trading a lot of low price stocks, which are basically just junk, and I'm trying to figure out, is this junk going down? Short selling is basically like taking a negative position. It freaks people out, like instead of buying 1,000 shares, you take negative 1,000 shares, but you profit when the stock prices go down. So if low price stocks are junk and they're theoretically gonna fail or go to zero, you profit on the way down by taking a negative position. I don't try to hold all the way till zero. It's very tough to determine that, but I try and take 10, 20, 30% returns on the way down.
Well, Tim, this isn't for everybody, though. What type of investor would this be right for?
I mean, it's very speculative. Any kind of stock trading, any kind of trading is speculative, but especially low price stock trading and small cap trading is very risky. So be prepared to lose. 90% of traders do lose, but if you learn the rules and you master the discipline, you can grow your account, much more than like some diversification. If you have a few $1,000s to your name, it's tough to just try and make 10 or 20% per year. It doesn't really move, your needle. So for me, I want to try to grow my account exponentially, but understand it's risky.
And speak to us more about those risks specifically. You've been doing this for a while, so you know them well. What are the risks out there when it comes to shorting?
Yeah, so no matter how bad a company is, or if you think it's going to zero, Wall Street is like one giant cheerleading fraternity. So by betting against it, you have all the forces in the world against you. So I've seen outright scams just keep going higher and higher. You get squeezed on your shorts. It's called the short squeeze. So I have rule number one, cut losses quickly. Any stock, it doesn't matter if I'm down like 5%, I get out. Something was wrong with my thesis. Too many people let ego get involved. They double up, they triple up, they quadruple up, and that's how you blow up.
Well, I know your philosophy is about being a contrarian investor. How do you apply that across the board to general investing?
Yeah, so I think it's useful to learn about how to be a contrarian even if you're just long biased because, shorts, we're licking our chops when something gets too overvalued, when it's going up too quickly. If you're long, you can start to learn how short sellers think. Like, wait a minute, this is getting a little too overextended. If a stock is up 100, 200, 300% in a few days or a few weeks, you need to learn to take profits. A lot of people think they're cheating if they exit their position on the long side or the short side. Just go for singles. Become like the Ichiro of the stock market. You don't need home runs.
You're also working with Pencils of Promise. Talk to us about what that is and your involvement there.
Yeah, so it's my favorite charity. I just donated $1 million a few weeks ago to build schools all over the world. They built 400 schools. My $1 million goes to building 20 schools in third world countries. And education really, I think, is so key, especially with the internet these days and, novel technologies like you guys. We're allowed to spread knowledge so much quicker than before, but these third world countries don't necessarily have access to it. So Pencils of Promise builds the schools, sustains the schools, and optimizes the schools, and I'm proud to donate.
Tim, do you also teach, though, your broader investing strategy to students?
Yeah, so this is what I do. I trade and I teach. I actually go back to my $12,000 every year to trade with a small account to show how to grow it. Because, with my kinds of stocks, it's impossible for me to trade like with $1 billion. That's why I'm a teacher and a trader. You'll never see me become a hedge fund manager. Again, my strategy isn't very scalable, but the lessons are good for average retail investors.
All right, there we have it. Tim Sykes, entrepreneur and self-made millionaire, started out in his dorm room. Thanks so much for joining us.
My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire.
So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade.